Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well today. I want to take this opportunity to update you on our water infrastructure issues as well as some plans we've made in the village to hopefully be able to more aggressively address them going into the future. First, by now, we all know the story. About 4 years ago, we began experiencing discolored water in portions of the village. We know that this issue is caused by our aging infrastructure. Our water lines are 80 years old, if not older. They have a life expectancy of 50 years, so they have far exceeded what they were expected to do. So when the water leaves our plant, it is clear. By the time it goes through our distribution system, it is discolored. This here is a picture of a pipe that was removed last year. It's a 2-inch pipe. It doesn't even meet current safety standards. We can't put a fire hydrant on this line. That buildup that's there, that's naturally occurring buildup. But like I said, once the water leaves the plant and passes through the line, this is how it gets discolored. Now, we know that the solution to this problem is to replace the lines. Our worst affected area, Basel Road westward, that's about a $3 million project. This year, we have water infrastructure projects totaling about $300,000. Now, holding all other things equal, that means it will take 10 years to replace those water lines in just that worst affected area. At council, we've been discussing how we can do this and how we can make this a quicker turnaround, because 10 years is too long for that area. The problem that we also had to discuss was the rest of the village, because we know that the rest of our village lines are just as old, look just like this one, and it's not a question of if, but when other areas of the village will experience discolored water at the severity that Basel Road West experiences it. So after a lot of discussion and trying to figure out how we can best address this issue, we have had a couple of council meetings where we have prepared and passed legislation, and we have presented to the Board of Elections the necessary paperwork to put a bond issue on this November's ballot. We are asking the issue to be put on there and for you to vote in favor of a $17 million bond. Now, $17 million is what we want to be able to use to replace the water lines throughout the entire village. Obviously, we're going to start with the worst affected areas, but that $17 million would allow us to replace the lines throughout the village. We also wanted to go with a bond issue because it's a secured line of funding. So this issue passes on November 3rd. On November 4th, we can begin discussing how to take those 10 years of projects in that worst affected area and combine them into one big project or a couple of smaller projects and do them all at once. We can also begin discussing how to replace the lines throughout the entire village. We can engage our engineering firm to help us figure out, does it make sense to work from the center out or the outside in, or just go from west to east? We can begin to do that with the issuance of bonds because the funding is available to us immediately. We don't have to wait to build up a reserve. Now, this bond issue is going to be repaid over 30 years. 30 years is a long time, but at the conservative edge of the life expectancy of the lines, it's at 50 years. Some people say that the lines could last even longer, maybe even 100 years. Obviously, our lines have lasted 80 years. So while 30 years is a long time, even if we work at the conservative side of 50 years before they need replaced, I hope that the leaders of the village in 30 years, as this debt is retired, will learn from our issues now and say, we have 20 more years before we have to start the systematic replacement of these lines, and we'll be planning for it and funding it ahead of time so that they're not stuck in the position we're in now. So I know the next question is, what's this going to cost me? Well, this bond, $17 million over 30 years to replace all of the water lines, would be $486.50 per $100,000 evaluation. Now, I know your home's probably worth more than $100,000, so I'm going to work on a spreadsheet that will be more granular. So if your home is $137,000, you'll be able to see what the property tax would be on your particular home. Now, there's also going to be a lot of other questions. So I have set 7 virtual town hall meetings because of COVID and restrictions on gathering sizes and necessary cleaning restrictions. We're going to hold these virtual. These are going to be Zoom meetings, so you will be able to join via your computer or via a telephone. In your next utility bill, there will be the meeting information for the meeting number to join by computer, as well as the telephone numbers to call to join these meetings via phone. Between now and then, I'm going to work to get some additional information on the website for you. Like I said, the actual property tax breakdown, as well as some other information that might be helpful. But I want to have everybody to have a chance to attend a meeting, which is why they don't start till September, so that everyone can get the notice in your utility bills. But I want you to be able to have an opportunity to ask your questions. I'm going to live stream those as well, so if you want to listen to the questions but maybe not have your own, but want to hear what others are asking, that will be available as well. So I hope that come November 3rd, I will have been able to answer all of your questions about this, and I hope that you'll join me in voting in favor of this issue so that we can issue these bonds and begin to replace all of the water lines within the village. Thank you.